What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about a good and a bad example of a slant route versus a physical DB, okay? So we're going to be talking about some of the mistakes that this receiver makes against this physical DB. Then we're going to be looking at a release where we run the exact same route, the exact same type of release, but it's a good example, okay? So we'll be looking at a bad and a good example. I know you guys have been asking for this, so I hope this video gives you guys some value on kind of what not to do and what to do. But also, fellas, if you want an ultimate wide receiver training package where we give you our specific 28-day wide receiver gym plan and our technique wide receiver manual, check out that very first link in the description, guys. It's $10 off today only, so make sure that you guys check that out. Full 28-day wide receiver gym program and our technique manual gives you everything you need to be a great wide receiver. Hope to get you guys on that soon. Again, link in the description, very first one. Let's get started. So now what we got here is we're going to be looking at this kind of like squirt release where he gives this little hesitation hop and then he tries to go into this diamond release. So we're going to be talking about the mistakes he made, right? So now, not trying to knock this guy or anything like that, but this is a common mistake that a lot of receivers make, and I'm sure this guy's been told the exact same thing. So let's watch this thing full speed. So he hesitates here, gets jammed, doesn't able to get off that press, and then that DB's able to make a play on this ball. That's a great job by the DB, but let's talk about some of the mistakes that this wide receiver made right here. So when we decide to go with this little hesitation hop, we got to make sure that we make it believable and we change up a little bit of tempo, right? This DB doesn't really bite on it, doesn't really give anything. We just got to make sure that we're a little bit more sudden with my break point. So I think that's the first mistake that we did here, because he just kind of jumped into this thing. Didn't really give this little shake to the inside. Wasn't really sudden with his feet. If you guys are going to hesitate and throw like a little move to the inside, you got to be sudden with your feet. The suddenness of your feet is what forces a reaction out of this DB. But if I'm just kind of like hopping into this thing and this DB's staying disciplined, watching my hips, I'm not going to be able to get any space. I'm just going to sit right there and then he's not going to bite, right? He's not going to jump at all. So we want to make sure that we give him that a little head fake and be sudden with my feet. Now, the diamond portion of this is where we kind of lose this, because this DB does a great job of getting hands, right? So you see when he goes to the diamond, first things first, his eyes are down, right? The thing about it's like the way I think of it is like boxing, right? You hear this all the time in boxing. The shots you don't see are the shots that are going to knock you out. So if your head is down and you're not necessarily seeing the threat from the DB, you're going to get jammed, right? But now the thing is that when you guys work a diamond release, it's very important that we stay in an explosive position. We don't raise my pad level up and I don't start chopping my steps. The thing about the choppy steps is that it will slow you down and naturally put you in that less explosive of a position. So you see when he comes off here, he gives a little hesitation hop and it's just kind of a 1, 2, 3. Real choppy, and you see how it's like he's almost just vertical with his pad level. Now, a DB is going to get hands, and when a DB gets hands, we got to just make sure that we have a plan for it. But you see how when he's able to get hands here, even when we try to swat with this off arm, because your pad level is vertical, because your chest is straight up in the air, we're not able to get hands on him because we lose that explosive position. We lose that leverage. So it's really important that when you guys get out on this diamond release, you guys keep your chest down and we stay in an explosive position. Now, I'm not saying chest parallel to the grass, but you want to be in a good position to where you could actually burst and force this hip turn from this DB. If you burst to the outside and you really commit your hips and you stay in that explosive position, it's going to be a lot easier to get him to turn and get him to run with you. But also you're going to be able to have that leverage to throw him by, right? But because we don't have that leverage, because we're not able to get his hands off, he's able to get hands and just completely jam me, just stay right in my chest because of how tall my pad level was, and then he's able to make this play over the top. That's a really good job by the DB, but also as a receiver, fellas, we gotta approach this like this DB's only gonna win if I do something incorrect. That's how you guys gotta approach your game. Maybe he gives him a little bit more of a head fake to the inside, kind of freezes him, maybe gets him sitting on this leg, really attacks his leverage and gives him that head fake and sudden feet. That makes him more likely to attack, to run with him, right? I give that little hesitation, it makes him more likely to open up that gate, run, and he's not able to get hands because I worked him to the inside. I got him to hesitate a little bit, right? So every little detail off the line, especially when you're against this physical guy, matters. Make sure I'm not raising my pad level up. Make sure I'm not chopping my steps. I'm getting him on the defensive, and then I'm selling vertical with a good pad level and putting my body in an explosive position. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. So he gives a little hesitation and make sure that we're able to sell vertical and really run. Don't chop those steps and pop that pad level up, okay? So now we're going to be kind of looking at the same release here, right? So this situation, this DB is a little bit further off, but this is a great example of kind of how to approach this diamond release, the good pad level that you need, and how to work in range. So let's watch this thing full speed. So he gives a little hesitation, 3 steps to the outside. We get that DB to turn his feet, and then I go. So now let's talk about this, right? Excuse me. This could have gone this could have been probably very similar to the last clip that we looked at because it's the same kind of concept of a release, right? So he gives him this little like first little like hesitation move kind of release. He comes to balance right here. That's what we want to do on that hesitation hop. That same thing that we saw in that last clip. We come to balance, right? We're very sudden. We force a reaction out of this DB. We try to get him on the defensive. We try to get his feet to stop. All I'm doing is just gathering info right here. How is he going to play me? Now, in this situation, this slant release took a little bit of time, right? So we got to make sure that we know the right situation to use it. We don't want to use this when we're a first read slant where maybe we're out of the slot and it's like a double slant concept and it looks like man coverage. It looks like maybe no high safety. Quarterback's going to be getting a lot of pressure. We want to be able to just go, right? So that's kind of use this sparingly when it comes to this release. But when we come up here and we come to balance like this, this could be considered like you could use this like a split release. You could use this as kind of like a 1-2, like an out-in release. Anything to kind of force that DB to be on that defensive and force a reaction out of him when I push up vertical. So you see how this receiver here, when he takes off on this 45, he doesn't run at him. That's another one of the mistakes that we saw in that first clip is that when he came to balance and he gave that little hesitation hop, when he ran, he was like right on the DB. He almost covered himself. He didn't understand the concept of that range that we want to be in, right? A little bit tighter of press. So I understand why he didn't have this much room to work. He didn't have this much room to navigate. But all this DB had to do when I came to balance like this is just try to get hands and almost lunge at him right now and go, right? So we got to make sure that when we get to this position, we have a plan for it, and then I'm able to get to that 45-degree angle on that diamond release. And in this case, he doesn't have hands, right? But let's say he were to get hands. We would be fine because you see how he's in a good pad level position. His chest is down. He's going forward. He's in a full stride. He's in like a full stride motion. He's not chopping his steps and slowing down because this is that explosive pad level position that if this guy were to get hands, we would be able to work him off. Now, again, it starts with the first move off the line. He was real sudden with his feet, came to balance. He was quick off the line, kind of patient. That forced that DB to think, okay, I don't know which way he's going. He came to balance. He could go inside. He could go outside. And he has to stay patient and watch those hips. And that will automatically give you that room to navigate and work other releases off the line, to work 3 steps on a 45. Maybe we work a dive release next time to get that guy to bite. So we decided to go with that diamond release like that first clip. Comes to balance, 1, 2, 3. And you see how sudden he is with his feet, right? He's in that low explosive position. Even if this DB were to get hands on him, we could slip underneath and get back to the 45. We could throw him by and we could really swat this left arm or back of his hip, back of his shoulder, whatever it might be. But you got to make sure that when you attack that 45, fellas, especially on a diamond release, we're in an explosive pad level position. You don't chop your steps. You don't raise your pad level up. You attack on that 45 to really get this DB to commit his hips. Then I'm able to break this thing off and get out of there on a tight 45. That's something that a lot of people that's a lot of mistakes people make too on this kind of break. This DB will be here, but they're not confident in this break leg. They'll cut, but then they'll round it. They'll round it and their hips will be slow and they'll run right into this DB. We got to be able to be sudden and we got to be able to get right back underneath this guy on a 45. That's a great route right here. Let's watch this thing again full speed. So coming to balance, make sure we get a read on this DB. We force a reaction out of him. We're patient, but we're sudden, right? In that first clip, we were just patient. We weren't sudden with my feet. DB didn't move. DB didn't have to react. He was just able to stay square right there. Then he gets hands and he knocks us off this route. Here we're sudden, but we're patient as well. DB's kind of thinking, okay, he can go inside, he can go outside. He has to stay disciplined and watch those hips. Then I give myself space to navigate. I give myself time to navigate, and I'm in that DB's head, making him think vertical with my pad level, but also I'm in an explosive pad level position. So if he were to get hands, he were to try to jam me, I could get off of this and still be able to get back underneath on my route. Let's watch it again full speed. So he gets the 1, 2, 3 steps to the outside, very sudden on the break point, and make sure we accelerate. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, if you want an ultimate wide receiver training package, everything wide receivers need to know technique-wise, and our 28-day gym workout plan, check out that very first link in the description, fellas. Hope we get you on that soon. And if you guys have any questions at all, please leave those in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'll see you guys next time.